the X-Wing started to open. I was like, oh, I know what that means.
I forgot. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of a podcast named Tim. Today we are discussing Llamageddon and Federico Fellini's 8.5. You guessed it, we are a father and son movie review podcast where each week we talk about some movies, maybe some other things we've been watching in the world. We're available everywhere podcasts are, so if you have Apple Podcasts, Spotify, CastBox, etc., please subscribe there, leave a rating and review in your audio platform of choice. And we are on YouTube where we do additional movie reviews, Star Wars discussions, Power Rangers, etc., etc. So hit us up on there as well. I think that's pretty much everything. We have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and podcast named Tim.com. So we are everywhere that you can be, pretty much. With that being said, I am Zach. Dad, how are you today, good sir?
I am fantastic.
That is good.
Ready to roll.
Ready to roll. I have been ready for this episode since we have finished watching these films. I've been very excited to talk about it.
Well, that was a week for me.
Yeah, I know. It was actually normally, you know me, I'm Friday. We record on Sundays typically for those behind the scenes little curtain stuff, and typically I'm watching movies, Friday and Saturday night and scrambling to get to what I need to get to. But I actually watched them pretty early this week, and I watched a lot of other stuff this week. What before I get into my stuff, what else did you watch?
I watched. What did I watch? Well, I watched. Let's see. We'll get to that in a minute. I finished Behind Her Eyes.
Mm-hmm.
2 thumbs up. Definitely, you need to watch that with the wife.
Okay.
Only 6 episodes. They're like 40-minute episodes, so it's not a real long watch. I liked it already. Liked it a little better to where it got to the end. And by the time it was finished, Amy and I loved it. We loved the way it finished.
Good.
What else did I watch? Walking Dead's back.
Oh, it's back?
I don't know if anyone else finds it. It's a snore fest now.
I know that was a thing.
Well, here's the problem. We actually turned off that episode the other day. I think we're one behind. We were letting it get a couple in before we started the new season. And they've got this really cool dynamic right now where Maggie, I know you don't know these people, but Maggie is back.
Mm-hmm.
And Negan is there. Now, Negan killed her husband.
I know who Negan is.
Okay. Negan's my favorite. I'm a Negan guy, which, tells you something about myself. Negan killed her husband. And I don't mean killed him, I mean brutally beat him with a bat.
Is this that famous scene?
Yes.
Okay.
So we have the perfect opportunity. We're years removed from that. She's been gone for a while. He's actually a free person now. He has redeemed himself, kind of. To some people, he's helped battle some bad people. He helps in the community. He doesn't stir up any shit. But now Maggie's back, so they have this perfect opportunity to throw that storyline.
Yep. Yeah.
Let's go with it. And instead, they take some week to show me some backstory of Daryl and how he met a girl in the woods years ago and blah, blah, blah. I was like, what are we doing? We don't need filler episodes. They're winding down. So filler episodes are not necessary right now. Let's tell the story. Let's get this thing over with. So I guess I'm going to finish out the series, but after that, Amy and I were both just bored out of our mind with it. So let's get to it. I watched Zack Snyder's 4-hour Justice League.
Okay.
And I really have no opinions on it. That's the problem. And I have fought now since I finished watching it yesterday, which is almost 24 hours now. I can't come up with an opinion because I remember. I don't know all that's new. I know a few things are obvious, like a new bad guy.
Well, let me ask you, as someone who's not seen either one of the Justice League movies,
Oh,
let me ask you. I did not. I refused to after the piece of shit that was Batman vs Superman. I was like, nope,
I
I'm
didn't
done.
hate it.
Oh, it was the worst.
Was it? See, I don't remember any of them, and maybe that's the problem.
Right. There's a reason you don't. Um, so here's my first question. Does it justify being 4 hours long? Because that's a long time.
3, I could see.
Okay. Okay.
He does a lot of slow motion crap,
Yes, he does.
so you could probably cut 30 minutes off right there. Um, there's some little side things that definitely could have. Alex came in, he didn't watch the whole thing with me. He came in and out, and he said this probably should have just been a TV show because it had so many. I don't know. We've got to stop the studio, and this is all studios, and this is all about the money. We've got to stop allowing shitty movies to be filmed and in the boardroom saying, that's all right, we'll either fix it in the sequel or we'll just restart the universe and do it again sometime. You got to stop that. You got to make these guys make a good movie the first time.
What I don't understand, and this is probably poor planning on Mr. Snyder's part, is if your vision of a superhero movie, which are the very definition of popcorn movies, I don't care how fancy and nice you make them, they're popcorn movies. There's not a lot of people going to go see a 4-hour superhero movie from a financial perspective.
Right.
So if your vision is 4 hours long, your vision is incorrect because that ain't how the business works.
Well, I agree.
So
we didn't. Yeah, these kind of movies I want to be popcorn movies.
Mm-hmm.
They're superhero movies. I don't need artsy. I don't need cool. It's fine to have a soundtrack that's nice. I don't need light flares, and I don't need slow motion. I really don't need love stories and shit like that in these kind of movies. I don't know. I'm still processing. I guess I need to watch the original again.
That's another 2.5 hours
to see what the difference was. I know. Okay, obviously there's differences, but yeah, I'm not. Your question, I don't know if it justified it. I'm not there.
Very few movies do justify that.
Yeah, I mean, the end sequencing, which is what I'm really having the most problem with because I need to. Is this totally setting up for a sequel? Because it was almost like a 30-minute end sequence to set up for a sequel. I liked it. It was kind of cool. But again, it had the people that I like. It had the Lex Luthor. It had the Joker.
Right.
It had people that I know, people that I like. I guess movies, I'm not a comic book guy. So I guess comic book people understand these a little more because they know all these little, well, yeah, in this group of movies, Superman did this, but yeah, I know in this one he did this.
Right.
I like to be just one universe. I don't like all that jumping around universes just so we can rewrite things. I want it to stay the same. I know a lot of people are calling for this to be canon now. I don't know. And I hate Aquaman flying.
Oh, no, that should not happen.
Aquaman doesn't fly. He either gets on some flying fish, like he did in. See, that's the problem. Super Friends is my version of the Justice League. I don't know. And no Green Lantern? Come on. Couldn't get Green Lantern in here? And I hate this Flash. I don't like the Spider-Man .2. I don't need a young kid to be the comic relief and be silly, and that's all he is. Right. He's just Spider-Man for this movie. I don't like that Flash. If they want to make him young, that's fine, but to be silly and dorky and
he's probably not doing as well as
Tom. He's starstruck by, and I have finally made my ultimate decision about Ben Affleck as Batman. He's horrible. He sucks.
Is this about Batman and Bruce Wayne?
I just don't like him in either one.
Okay, that's fine.
Well, he's weak, and this movie made Batman look really weak.
Okay.
I liked his, and I'm trying to think if it's this movie or was it. You saw Batman versus
I
Superman.
saw Batman vs. Superman. Yeah.
Is that the one where he dropped the line when the guy asked him what his superpower was, and he said, "I'm rich"?
I don't remember that line.
Or maybe it's Justice League then.
Okay.
That was a great line. Whenever I saw it, I thought it was fantastic. And I think it was maybe Flash. The kid that plays Flash said, "What's your superpower?" And he was like, "I'm rich." Because that's kind of what it is. Well, this one just, kind of made him look almost like Charlie from Charlie's Angels.
Okay.
That's kind of all he was. He was just kind of the guy that, I mean, he did do some stuff later, but he's just kind of the money guy. He's kind of the behind the scenes guy that's getting the real superheroes to take care of business while he, I don't know. Anyway, I would see a second one, I'm going to say. I know that sounds weird after what I just said, but it was about that 30 minutes afterwards. I kind of like the setup of what could be coming.
Well, speaking of Batman, I watched Dying is Easy, which is Dying is Easy.
Dying is Easy? Okay.
Dying is Easy. It's Batman Dying is Easy. It is a fan-made film that came out this week. Gentleman, I forgot his name. Bat in the Sun is the name of the YouTube channel. They do a lot of really cool stuff where they do like, what would happen if the Green Ranger fought Darth Vader? And then they make like a high quality fan film of them two fighting for like 15 minutes. That's what they got famous for doing, at least what I knew.
Okay.
But they made a 25-minute fan film with Batman. Here's who's in this movie. Michael Madsen.
Okay.
As Bullock. Chris Daughtry is in it as Dr.
The singer?
Yes.
Okay.
As Dr. Hugo Strange. He's got the main guy he always gets to play Batman, which is Kevin Porter, and the director plays the Joker in it. And it's a little 25-minute movie. A lot of fun. I enjoyed it. It's very much in the light of, as far as the structure of the storyline in the Killing Joke Lego Batman, where it's about them two. We need each other. It's about that.
Okay.
Yeah. But and I enjoyed it. The guy who is doing it, I think his name is Aaron Schoenig or something like that. He's actually the one who is directing that Kickstarter film that's coming out, I believe, this year, which is Legend of the White Dragon, which is the Jason David Frank. It's basically going to be an adult Power Ranger movie with the old Green Ranger in it. And
cool.
he does a lot of really good action stuff. And so he did Dying is Easy, which is on YouTube. I think it came out like 3 or 4 days ago. It's already got 4 million views. And so I enjoyed it.
I'll check it out.
Yeah.
I'll probably check it out when we're done here.
Mm-hmm. Pretty good. Watched Mamma Mia for the first time.
Again, the movie's not as good.
Is Mamma Mia good? But here's my question about the play, though. Is it that the story is actually good, or is it that just everyone likes ABBA?
Well, I like the story.
Okay. I didn't know what the story was.
I like ABBA. I've always liked ABBA. And I like any live music I like because you can feel it in your chest. So that makes it better. And it doesn't have it's just a very simple stage, a very simple, I don't know. I mean, everybody is up dancing the dancing queen. Everybody knows the moves.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like it's a party, man. It's a party.
Well, it was good. I enjoyed it. 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10?
6 out of 10.
I would say I had an 8 out of 10 until Pierce Brosnan started singing and then dropped it. Because that's I would rather hear Russell Crowe sing Les Mis again than hear Pierce Brosnan sing.
Also watched Yes Day, which is a Netflix original, I believe. Jennifer Garner and her husband in the movie, I don't know his name. They do a Yes Day, which for people who don't know what it is, it's this new trend thing that parents are doing. It's a social media thing. Basically, you pick one day and you tell your kids, tomorrow's Yes Day. And you pump them up. You have to say yes to everything.
Oh, fuck that. You would have taken advantage.
Exactly. That's the idea, is that it's supposed to be, I watched the guy talk about it. It's supposed to be, what is it? Relieving to the parents in some respects, because they actually realize that their kids wouldn't take advantage of it. I don't buy that, but that's the idea of the movie. And of course, it's got the teenage daughter who wants to do something that the mom doesn't want her to. She's an over controlling parent, basically, and it's her kind of learning to let go. So,
Gotcha.
fine, good kids movie. Watched it a couple times. I watched what else? I watched a lot of this. Watched The Last Unicorn, which was a Rankin and Bass hand drawn movie.
Ouch.
Yeah, a lot of people were in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alan Arkin, Jeff Bridges, Mia Farrow, Robert Klein, Angela Lansbury, Christopher Lee. It has a 7.5 on IMDb.
Sounds like the list of people that needed a paycheck about that time. So
It was okay. It was fine. Not
all
great.
right.
Watched John Wick for the first time.
And
Mwah, mwah,
beautiful movie.
Excellent.
Beautiful movie.
Beautiful, beautiful. I have recorded a actual full review for the YouTube. Going to be dropping that sometime this week. But just the second it ended, I think it ended at 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. I was ready to watch John Wick 2.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Amazing action. Had a lot of gun fu kind of feel to it from like
Right.
Rim.
Yep.
What really sold it for me was the brutality of the physical combat, but not just the gun stuff.
Right.
A lot of really cool stuff with the cars. I love the lore.
Yes.
Of the
Love
lore.
the hotel.
Yeah. The fact that an action movie, I know I'm going to get good action. Sometimes I might get a good plot, but the fact that I can get a good lore and world building in a movie was just excellent. So loved it. Watched Devil Girl from Mars. Had to get my nice 1950s sci-fi movie in.
I am so glad you just mentioned that movie because I thought that was going to come up at the end of the show.
No, I knew you would think that.
Okay. I saw that up there. I was like, oh.
It was fine. It's on a list of like Razzies, like 100 amusingly bad movies.
Is it a 50s?
Yeah, 54. Basically, this woman from Mars shows up. There's like a little inn in Scotland where there's a motley crew of people, and the whole movie is her walking back and forth between the inn and her ship, and she'll come back and say, "You all suck, and you're not as cool as Mars," and then she goes back to her ship, and then they're like, "Maybe we can do this to stop her," and then she comes back and she's like, "Why'd you try that? You're stupid." That's the whole movie.
So, in other words, even women from Mars are totally unrational and
well, what's funny is that's part of the movie is that she says that there was an actual battle of the sexes, a war of the sexes on Mars,
right.
And the men lost, and they are now in decline, and she's come here to get some men to take back with her. So
good.
I have a review for that coming on the YouTube channel. Watch a little bit of New Hope because why not? And that was and of course, a little college basketball. So I was all TV this week, baby.
So Kentucky and Duke are not even in it?
Didn't even make it, and UNC got knocked out in the first round.
Kentucky and Duke. When was the last time Kentucky and Duke both were not in the tournament ever?
1969.
I'm surprised to see that soon, but all right.
Well, and I think they said the last time that UNC, Duke, and Kentucky had not made, one of them had not made a Sweet 16 was like 1979.
Wow.
So it is, and of course we had one weird game. I think there were 5 teams from Virginia that made the tournament, and all 5 got knocked out in the first round.
Well, Norfolk State was Virginia Tech.
VCU, which had the no contest game, and Liberty.
I don't know what that means.
They had to cancel the game because of COVID.
Oh, right.
And so the other team just got to move on.
Oh, well, is that how we're doing that?
Yeah, and then Liberty was the other one. So.
Well, anyway.
Yeah. So, let's get into this. We have avoided talking about these movies long enough. But before we get into the films, we're going to take a quick moment to pause and hear a word from our sponsor. So I figured we'd start with the best movie of the week and work our way down. And so we're going to start with Llamageddon. And so Llamageddon has a 1 hour and 9 minute runtime, came out in 2015, a 3.9 on the IMDb scale. Nothing on the tomato meter from what I could see. Directed by Howie DeWin, which is a great name. And it's about an evil llama. Louis the llama is the actual name of the llama. Llama shows up from outer space. A bunch of teenagers a couple of them who are grieving for their grandparents throw a party at their dead grandparents' place. And of course, college parties ensue, and the llama takes care of business, man. I'll get into some further stuff, but overall, this was your selection for the week. What did you think of Llamageddon?
It missed the mark, and I could fix it if they just give me the film. I could fix it.
This was better than Killer Pinata.
Yes.
Yes.
But all they needed to do in this is stop relying on silly, drunken, high teenagers laying around the party doing nothing for most of the movie.
Yep.
If they just would have taken that out, made it a little more, thin the cast down a little bit, they didn't need that many people in there, and show each death individually instead of that one big mass death in the hot tub.
Yeah.
Then they could have actually had a good film for this kind of film. And I wasn't walking in there expecting something out of the Academy Award stuff is what I wanted. So, because, man, with the llama kicks had me in tears. That was like, yeah. I mean, some of it was fine. They just would have taken out that other part, which I guess it's, hey, let me put as many of my friends in here as I can, and I guess I get it. But yeah, man, it was fun. Loved the title. Was a little bit thrown off by the mixture of cartoon. It was like it was trying to be Tarantino there for a minute. But it was entertaining. Liked the graphics at the beginning. Liked that the spaceship was a what do you call it, trailer? Trailer, horse trailer. And anytime you got a combine, you got magic. So what was your?
I enjoyed it. It could have. It almost, there were, just like you said, a little couple things it needed to do to get to that thing's killing level, but it was very good in some respects. I loved. I'm sure you caught on to it. Dom, the black guy they were hanging out with, who was trying to get the nerd hooked up. Did you notice his running joke for the movie?
Maybe.
In every single scene, every time they cut away from him and came back, he had a different shirt on.
There was shirt on. Yeah, I did notice that.
Loved it. This is what I loved about this movie. It knew what it was, and it leaned into it. We know people are going to think we're a shitty movie, so let's make a joke and lean into it.
I know the one guy had facial hair in some of the movie and not in some of the other movies. That was fun.
So the movie just knew what it was in that regard, and I love that. That was great. I thought that the llama transformation idea was really cool. Would have liked to see that a little bit more, and maybe added a little bit more to that. And actually, I would have liked a little bit more lore, a little bit more, like I said, a little bit more gore.
The bloody porch was hilarious.
Yes.
It just kept going, and it was not to the point where, okay, that's enough. It could have kept going a little farther, and I would have been fine with it because it was so bad.
Yes, they leaned into it well. I enjoyed it. Again, it's fine. I think this is of the just above student film ones. This is a mid one, maybe slightly above average, but I liked it.
I'd watch another one of his films. So.
Absolutely, yeah, I would too. And I agree with you. They needed to. I get it. We got to have teenagers doing teenager things or college kids. I would have liked to have toned it down a little bit. And actually, there's an interesting movie I watched recently. Not interesting, but it was weird because it did a different version of the trope. It's called Fog, and I think it was called Fog or Bog. And it's one of those '80s kind of slasher films, but it was about two couples that were like in their 30s or 40s, and they went out camping, and that's what happened. So it was like a middle-aged group of people, and it was so weird to see that dynamic.
Right.
Like, oh wait, this isn't teenagers. It's like, what is happening here? And just that alone made that movie interesting because it was a
Well,
completely.
there we go. Here's our Kickstarter. Let's make an elderly, all elderly people getting into this kind of.
Absolutely, absolutely. But yeah, just it was interesting. So, I I um I enjoyed the film. It
I
was
did too.
it was
I mean,
worth 1 hour and 9 minutes of my
well,
time.
yeah, exactly. It wasn't, it wasn't long, and we're not going to ever have a director remake, a director's cut. Little more. Yeah, just oh man, I was so irritated when they killed all those people in the hot tub.
Yeah,
I was just like, oh, why are we doing this? I mean,
they
did this
yeah they could have
run
done
out of money?
some more inventive deaths, and I would have liked for those eggs. I don't think those egg things hatched. What's in right?
Llamageddon too.
So
I'm on board.
I enjoyed it. We got to take the fight to them next time. We got to go.
Definitely definitely got to fight back. And we need more. We need him to Louis to call for reinforcements, and we need some more llamas.
Yeah, so if it's Llamageddon, I need an invasion.
There you go.
So
yeah, I thought it was. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Well, there's not much more to say about that. It is fun. It's on Amazon Prime for free if you all want to watch it. But let's get into.
I would have paid for it. I would have rented that.
I would have rented it too. That was a good blockbuster. Last second, you've already you buy one, you get two for free. And yes, you watch that as well. But go ahead.
No, that's right. We'll talk about it later.
Okay, so yeah, that would have been a good, buy one get one free, or rent one get one free. That would have been the
That's
second.
right.
So, well, let's go ahead and talk about the movie I recommended for the week. Federico Fellini's story by, directed by, 8.5. Came out in 1963, has an 8.0 on IMDb. It has a 98 on the tomato meter, and I believe a 92 on the audience score. Won a couple Oscars, including Best International Film of the Year. And basically it tells the tale of a director who is running out of ideas. He is hit writer's block and doesn't know what to do. And so he is the studio wants to make the film, and in the process of making the film, he's trying to make a movie, but his mind is drifting to his memories of his life and maybe some of the women involved in it. And that is the setup for the film. This is lauded as one of the greatest films ever made. I've watched Martin Scorsese, Terry Gilliam, Quentin Tarantino, all of the true auteurs of our time tell me that this is the best movie ever made and how it inspired them. And I'm just going to say it. It's a piece of shit. I don't want anyone to tell me I'm not smart enough to figure it out and that it's above my head and that if you watch it 50 times, you can pull the true essence and meaning of this film. I'll get into why it is a piece of shit. And there are a few things I did enjoy. But let me hear your opinion.
Well, it should have been renamed. Should have been called Esoteric. This was not made for the masses.
Yes.
This was made for Fellini to. He probably sat around and spanked it, watching it. I'm sure. Like I've heard of this guy. I've always heard all about him. I know his tributes, and everybody loved him to death. Or not him personally. He was probably I hear he was an ass. He was kind of the Italian Otto Preminger.
Mm-hmm.
But this movie just I didn't care. It didn't make any sense. You could tell that this was just, I am Fellini and I can make anything I want, put it on the screen, and you will smell my shit and tell me it's roses. I liked Master Antonio's his acting was fine.
Yeah.
But it just if this is what's in that guy's mind, then I don't take some pills or something, or do something, because I don't know. I guess I'm with you. Yeah, don't. I did read a couple of things about it, and even one guy said, kind of alluded to what you were talking about, is, if you keep watching it, you'll pull more from it each time. I doubt it.
I got it. I understood what they were doing.
Yeah, exactly. I just didn't care.
Let me give the positives.
Yes, I wanted to hear these.
I thought it was pretty. I thought it was a pretty film. I thought it was. I thought it looked good. In some scenes, there were definitely a couple of inventive shots. I like the idea of the film. I just don't like the execution. I think it's a good concept for a film.
So if it wasn't foreign,
no.
Okay.
No, that has nothing to do with it.
Okay.
I just, because look, I mean, let's compare it to another Italian film we reviewed for the show. The movie we said was the best film of season 2, Bicycle Thieves. Let's look at these two films. Bicycle Thieves. Slow, and I mean that in a good way. Character development, building of lore, and not lore, but world building and the people, and it made
one word. You're missing one word. Plot.
Part. Just everything you needed in a film. This movie had no plot, and fuck this movie for trying any movie that is pretentious, that then tries to point fun of its pretentiousness and act like it because they pointed out that it's a pretentious movie. That's okay.
Right.
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, we know.
We get it. The one character who kept saying, basically laying criticisms at what you would lay at this movie, and it's like, well, we pointed out that it's an issue, so it's fine. No, it's not.
Just an 8.5 because it was his 8th movie or what?
Yeah.
That.
I get why people like Taron Gilliam and Tarantino and Martin Scorsese. I get why these people like it.
I don't.
This is a movie made for those people.
I disagree with that.
I think this is a movie made for directors. This is a movie made for directors. Period.
But those people that you named make movies with plots and flowing stories and interesting characters and.
Right, but I think that they can relate to the character, and that's it. It's a movie made for them because they understand what that character is going through, with dealing with the producers, with dealing with, So that alone, that's why these people love this movie. This is an insider movie, but let's point it.
I wonder if Zack Snyder likes this movie.
But I mean, look, here's the issues. It wants to be pointing fun at the Hollywood system or not Hollywood system, but the movie making system and everything. There are better movies that do that. Singing in the Rain makes fun of the movie making process and the industry, and there's other ones like it. It wants to be weird for being weird's sake. Brazil, I would say Terry Gilliam, who is inspired by the gentleman, is a better version of it.
Yeah.
Here was the most annoying part of the film to me. They kept doing all these little scenes, and they kept relying on this technique so much, where 20 different people would constantly walk in frame and walk beside, and it would be a hurried conversation, and then walk to this person, hurried conversation, and they just kept doing that. And it reminded me of that scene in Brazil where they're walking down the hallway and everyone's talking.
Oh yeah. Huh.
But they kept doing it over and over again. That's just one scene in that movie.
Right.
And so they just kept doing that over and over again. The flashbacks I didn't give a shit about. The one that was kind of funny was the kids were when they went to go visit the cracked up whore at the beach.
Oh yeah.
Kids were trying to.
That was so weird.
That was funny. That was about it. But I like that. I liked the fact that he was supposed to be making this crazy sci-fi film, and it was just him filming a bunch of people he knew talking about
right.
it. that was funny in some respects. But I saw a lot of other little movies in this. Of course, there's the famous scene that you saw was borrowed for Pulp Fiction.
Right.
But yeah, this falls into, and I don't ever want to. Maybe you can agree with this. You hate Citizen Kane. I think it's a little overrated, but I enjoy it. This is the ultimate critic. I'm going to tell you this movie's good, and you're going to enjoy it film, and way more than Citizen Kane, which is another one of those self-indulgent director films. That at least had a plot and is a better shot film.
I agree.
This is the ultimate critic kiss-ass movie.
Would you search out another Fellini film and check it out? Or is this totally joking?
I will give one more. There's one more I want to watch.
I haven't researched it yet, but I was thinking about let me see if this is maybe just like his brainchild, his baby, but maybe all the other ones are a little different and good. And this one just was his vision that he just had to get out of his head and film.
I think that's what it was. I think there's one, and I don't remember what it's called, but apparently there's one that is about the paparazzi. And it's actually where the term paparazzi comes from. It's called, I think it's either called paparazzo, or there's paparazzi in the movie that are called paparazzo. And they coined the term and the idea of paparazzi. And I'd be interested in saying that. But
yeah,
I
might watch another one of his just to kind of gauge it and see what's going on.
Again, I get what they were trying to do. It was a man who was struggling with an idea, and he had a lot of weird time with women that he had struggles with dealing with, and he was a piece of shit to them and philanderer and all that. I get what they were trying to do. I just don't care.
Yeah. It was crap.
It's so unfortunate because I did not. I picked it with the intention of we're going to have a good film.
Right.
Oh, terrible.
That's what Derek was telling you. It was made for a very small group of people. Enjoy it. Hope they enjoyed it.
It was made for
any time they want.
It was made for directors, and not just. This was made for the high society directors, the auteurs.
Francis Ford Coppola.
What do you think that Fellini would think about the Avengers and stuff?
Oh God, he probably hate them. Yeah.
This made me lose respect for Martin Scorsese. I'm not kidding. I said, you piece of shit.
Or do they get into the little round table when they get together with their cigars and their brandy and go, did you really like that movie? Hell no, I know what hell I meant. But we feel better about ourselves saying we do.
Speaking of
Maybe
that,
it was just fashionable for them to say that too, and they have no idea either.
Speaking of the directors and famous directors, I did watch a little bit more of The Godfather this week because I got in the mood. I think it was after watching this, I was like, I need to watch a good film now, and so I went and watched some of The Godfather. Yeah, what a great film! Yes. Cool. That is all we got for this week. Again, I Llamageddon.
Who would have thought?
Had a plot, had a point, knew what it was. I guess this movie knew what it was. It just didn't give a shit about us.
Yeah, as soon as you said the movie and I saw it was Fellini, I was like, oh man, he's gonna rip me. He's gonna rip mine to pieces. But I guess his reputation fooled even me. I'd heard the name and it had me down that Fellini must be good. It's Fellini.
Yeah. Not great. Hashtag hot takes here.
Hashtag shitty Italian movie.
It took me 3 viewings. I watched 45-minute segments because that's all I could do.
I was about the same. Kept pausing it and picking up and playing a game on my iPad or something to
Oh.
kind of try to figure out what I was watching.
Okay. Well, I'm glad we agree.
So,
Yes.
I watched the last Blockbuster.
Yes. How was that?
That was really fun. It was nostalgic. It was like it was just fun because I did manage a Blockbuster for a while, so I felt it. I understood it. I got when they were talking about the smell of the Blockbuster and just the whole. I miss Blockbuster. I really do. I mean, I definitely don't want it back. I'd much rather just pick it on my screen.
Yeah.
I don't want to go with Amy and try to pick out a movie because that would end up in a fight every time.
Could you imagine sending like a 20-something-year-old, 18-year-old kid who's never understood the concept of Blockbuster and it's only grown up with Netflix, trying to send them to one now? Like, go pick out this.
Alex would lay on the floor and cry.
I mean, it was an experience, though. It's so weird.
It was fun. It was your Friday night, or Saturday night, man. That's what you had it planned. That's what you did.
Yeah.
We're going to Blockbuster. We're going to get us a couple movies for the weekend. We're going to get us some popcorn and some candy, and go home and Blockbuster and chill, which was totally different than Netflix and chill.
Yeah, you watched that shit because you paid for it.
And it was some interesting. There's some interesting trivia in it because I'd never, even though I was with the company right before that, I didn't know all the. I didn't know who started it and how it became a company and how it grew and kind of what happened to it. And I didn't know that. The head of Trauma. I can't think of his name offhand. I didn't know he was such a Blockbuster hater. Have a real quick interview with him, but it's got a lot of people in it. It's got Doug Benson's in it. Who else? I can't think. Just people that were. I always thought I was told, and I was kind of right that the last Blockbusters were in Alaska, which is kind of true. There were 3 in Alaska that were left. They slowly closed down, and this one here, this is in Bend, Oregon.
Okay,
sure. So that's it. And they did get another renewal on their lease through Dish Network owns them now.
Oh, okay.
Apparently, so go check it out. Learn all about revenue share and how that all changed everything, and the no late fees, what that did. And, so we knew when we were working for them, we did the no late fees, and we all said in a staff meeting, that's a lot of revenue.
Yeah,
that made up. In our store in Williamsburg, Virginia, most months late fees was the majority of our income.
Oh, I have no doubt.
Yep.
Absolutely I watched a documentary this week as well. Fun. I watched the Free Britney documentary.
I watched that.
It was interesting.
It was.
I don't.
It made me feel for her.
I don't know whose side I'm on.
I do.
I don't know. Because here's my one big thing. When the attorney who was going to represent her went to the judge, and the judge presented a document that said she's not fit to make her own decisions or serve you or help you. You can't be her attorney because she can't make a decision. And he wasn't allowed to see what was in it before he, I guess, or whatever. We don't know what's in that document.
Well, that's true.
That's all I'm saying.
That's true. But, it's time now.
So, it was interesting.
Let her have her own. Let her have her own stuff. She can't deal with it. She can't deal with it. It's time. I get it when she was a teenager, definitely when she was a young adult, possibly, and having some definite mental issues and all that. But it's time to let her do her own thing.
And big props to Kevin Federline. No, for real. Well, think about it. She was going through her mental breakdown situation.
Right.
And he made sure he took care of the kids.
Yep.
And he fought for it. And there was another situation where I think he was also helping out. So big props to K-Fed.
Professional wrestler extraordinaire.
Professional wrestler, rapper, and hero of the American people.
I'm not going to go that far.
Hey,
there's what I've always said. I'll take fortune. Fame you can have.
Oh, yeah, no. And this was,
thank you.
What was fascinating about it, I'll just say that the biggest thing is, and I guess Justin Timberlake's probably the biggest thing since then. I just don't remember. I know the paparazzi's still a thing. But this was like peak powers of paparazzi. And she was their chosen one. I mean, it was.
Yeah.
And it was interesting to see all of the interviews and how we dealt with things then.
Right.
And people just being like, well, what did you do to Justin? What did you do? Why did it was fascinating. Oh my God.
That's right.
Because I was like, none of these questions would happen today. This would not happen today.
Nope.
And I did see that Brittany wants Oprah to interview her. I'd be down to watch that.
Why not?
So, well, next week we're going to be doing, because you kept asking me about a theme.
One time.
You asked me a couple times.
I just don't know if I'm supposed to be looking for a particular genre or if I can just say, hey, watch this.
Well, I was like, well, let's go ahead and do a theme. We're in the month of March, which is named after, of course, the Greek god Mars. So I will say, let's do movies.
And we have traveled to Mars.
That was the other reason. And I watched The Devil Go from Mars. So there was just I was getting a sign.
Right.
I needed to do a movie about Mars with Mars in the title, something Mars. What did you pick for the theme Mars?
I picked one, but then when I started watching it, it didn't have anything to do with Mars. I don't know why it came up, and so I decided just to go back to the 80s. Let's do Total Recall, the original Total Recall, not the Colin Farrell Total.
I knew what you
watched, so maybe it is good, but I need some Arnold.
I knew what you were talking about. That's funny you mentioned Arnold. There's actually the Nostalgia Critic, who's a famous YouTuber, is doing Terminator Month. So he's doing full reviews. He does like 30-minute long, high production reviews. He's doing it for all of the Terminator movies.
Oh boy.
Yes.
I haven't seen the last couple of.
I stopped at Salvation.
That was Christian Bale.
That was the last one I've watched.
I think I will.
You watched Genesis.
After it.
You watched Genesis.
Yeah.
I
haven't watched this new one that's done.
Yeah. But we're going to go to a quintessential Martian invasion film.
Oh, no.
The War of the Worlds.
Oh, whew. Thought you were going to do Mars Attacks.
No, I the original.
Oh, when I was looking through them, I was like, oh, please don't pick Mars Attacks. Please don't pick Mars Attacks.
No, the War of the Worlds, it is available for free on Crackle at the moment.
Now, which War of the Worlds?
The original. 50s. Yep.
No Tom Cruise?
No, not supporting that man. But yes, the original 1950s, The War of the Worlds.
You say Crackle?
Yes, Crackle for free. So that's what we got. I don't
think I've ever watched the original.
Well, I think whenever I think of it, I'm actually thinking of The Day the Earth Stood Still.
Which I have seen many times.
Yeah. Because I was like, I thought of it, and I was like, oh, this isn't the movie I thought it was.
Right.
Because it was.
We could listen to the original radio broadcast.
We could, which I'm sure we'll talk about.
All right.
Well, that's all we got for next week. I am excited to watch these films. I think we are guaranteed at least a baseline of quality next week.
Jeez, I hope so. And what was that little 20-minute film I was going to watch?
Oh, it's called Dying is Easy.
Dying is Easy.
That in the Sun.
Okay.
All right. We'll see you all next week here on a podcast named Tim. Enjoy your week. Goodbye.